Hi, I'm Lee Iridium. Hope everyone's doing all right today. So, reaction time. The band Hardline. Now, this band are quite well known in the melodic rock sort of sector, and they got a lot of pedigree about them as well. This band. So, on their debut album, the one and only Neil Schon on guitar, from Journey, of course. Dean Castronova, ex-Journey, you know, brilliant drummer. He was on that album as well. So they've not had many albums out for the time they've been together. So formed in 1991, you know, and they've got this new album though is on Frontiers. Who else? July the 9th, the actual album's coming out. And the album's called Heart, Mind and Soul. So the only surviving member, not surviving member, they're not all dead by the way. The only original member is Johnny Gioli. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, on vocals. Mario Percidani on guitar, Anna Portalupi on bass, and Mario De Salvia on drums. And the one and only, I'm sure I've mentioned this guy's name about 57 times, Alessandro Del Vecchio on keys, a Frontiers guy that's been involved in countless projects. He does the keys and he probably produces this album because he's a producer as well, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked into who's mixing and producing this album, but more than likely Alessandro Del Vecchio is. His name just cropping up everywhere lately. He's been involved with some great projects, absolutely brilliant. So, if anyone doesn't know this, Hardline, this is your chance to, the first taster with me for a reaction. I did like their first couple of albums. I thought they were really good. And then I sort of, I don't know, I went off a little bit. Not off of the band itself, but just left them alone like, you know, like we all do. We just sometimes have gaps in band's history, don't we, and then we go back. So I'm looking forward to this because I did like the first couple of albums. Obviously Neil Schon and that, you know, lots of pedigree in the past for this band. But I can't remember when I last heard them. But now there's a new album coming out. So this is it. Hardline, Fuel to the Fire is the song. First time reaction. Looking forward to it. Here we go. Everyone loves a story with a video, don't they, eh? Rocky.
Drowned in my wake of
give it a quick stop there. I had a couple of verses and a couple of choruses. So, I know I wasn't actually expecting it to be so heavy. I thought because of Alessandro Del Vecchio, I don't know how long he's been in this band, but usually with his influence of his being a keyboardist as well, I suppose, you do get a lot of keys usually throughout the songs that he's been involved in, or throughout the albums that he's been involved in lately. So with this, it's nice to hear the guitar being at the forefront of the song. It's a real rocking song, actually. I didn't know. I thought it wouldn't be. I suppose the title would have given me a clue of that. But I'm glad, really glad that guitar is up front. And it's that sort of, I love the stomp of the bass, that simple stomp, boom, 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 in the background, giving that excellent rhythm section. Really great performance by the drummer and the bass guitarist, by the way, because they're keeping that nice and simple in the background, and the guitar is giving it that sort of Whitesnake-esque, John Sykes-esque sort of riffing, that sort of thing. So I'm pleasantly surprised at how heavy it is, and really harks back. And I don't, this is a channel that covers a lot of 80s stuff, obviously. And I don't like always to hark back to the 80s, because to tell you the truth, the 80s plus what the music we get now is probably the best period there's ever been for my sort of music, that melodic hard rock stuff. The 80s was a very short time, but there's been decent music like this around for a lot of years now, and a lot of people don't know about it. But this really has that 80s nostalgic sound, for sure. Some of the best bands, by the way, that come out of the 80s. And there were some shit bands that come out of the 80s, remember? Along with some good ones. And that's the same now. You're never going to get everyone being brilliant now, like there wasn't in the 80s. But I do actually really like this song. It's really rocking. The vocalist, man, he's got a lot of power in his voice. Johnny Gioli, and obviously they were formed in 91, so the guy must be at least 50, maybe 50 years old. If in 91 he had to be young, he's still about 50, and he's got an amazing voice. So much power, passion, gives it everything in the song. Absolutely love it. Nice video again, made on a £10 budget, someone riding a bike. At least he's not in the desert. He's actually riding through some, lovely countryside. It's usually the desert now, isn't it? Every video you see is a band playing in the desert, or, someone walking through the desert. At least it's a little bit different. It's not about the videos anymore. Let's just face facts. It's about the music now. Videos ain't going to get you, airplay like it did back in 80s on MTV or anything like that. It's just a video's a video. It's just something to look at. But had a great performance so far from this band. I really love it. I love the production as well, because that guitar is pushed right up in the mix, and it's a guitar-driven song. I suppose the whole album's going to be like that, hopefully. But here we go for the rest of the song. Solo, hopefully, coming up. Right, Stomp. It's going for a pitch.
I've seen a million faces when they were
great, man. It was really good. It had a lot of energy in it. Rocking, like I said. I love the solo. It came and went very quickly. It fitted the song because it was quite rocky. The whole song was quite rocky. I'm impressed. I really am. It's a bit of a surprise, to tell you the truth. I wasn't expecting something that good. Only because I've listened to this band for ages. They've probably brought out some good albums, but I've just not been there to listen to them. You know, I've just not, for some reason, I left them alone. But a great song. So July the 9th on Frontiers. Looking forward to it. Another release to look forward to. Man, this year is good. It's really good. All the bands maybe that were holding back last year for good reason, because of COVID. What's the point of bringing an album out if you can't tour with it? The money's made from the touring, remember. There's no money made from albums anymore. You know, so you can't blame bands for holding back last year. Even though there was some great albums out last year, there would have been a lot more than there was. But now, you know, things are hopefully getting back to normal. There's concerts soon. I know they've started up in certain places. And hopefully we'll all get back to normal and music will come back. And live music will come back. And you can't blame these bands, like I said, for not bringing albums out. But this year is going to be fantastic. Thanks for listening. What do you think of this? Is this the first time you've ever heard Hardline? Might be. What do you think of this compared to previous songs? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.